All right, Aquarius, welcome to your April of 2015 horoscope. My name is Athen. Okay, so we have what I'm calling a transitional month here in April of getting things started from the beginnings and transformations that took place in March. We had the Uranus squaring up to Pluto exact in March, and we had the solar eclipse energy creating the new beginnings for the next 6 months. So now April is definitely slowly moving forward with that, but for the first 7 or 8 days of the month, we are still finishing up some of these things relating to Uranus and Pluto. So like I've been saying, this is the last of this aspect, and the aspect isn't that much an orb during this time, but we do have the Sun going over Uranus and Mercury going over Uranus as well. So this is activating that second house of yours, which is your sense of self-worth, your finances, what you feel like you can do in life, your self-reliance, relying on yourself for your enjoyment of life, enjoying the simple pleasures, being grateful for the things in your life. So that's where a lot of changes have been happening, and over the past 3 years in particular, and last month in particular. So now we're just finishing some things up there. We have the Sun going over there on the 6th, which is, I think, freeing you up, your self-expression, your passion. It's all of our passions and zest here, but it's coming from you releasing some of these old things relating to your sense of self-worth, your values, your abundance, and then stepping into a new level here of enjoyment, perhaps seeing what those things really provide you with, what life really is about, what's really enjoyable in life. And from that, I think it's going to create a lot of freedom, a lot of excitement, and helping you move forward with all this energy this month and for the next 6 months. But a lot of it has just a releasing energy because it's the South Node, so releasing a lot of these old things from that. You look to last month in March in terms of what that might be for you in particular, but something around that second house stuff. And it's also your 11th house also, which is balancing it with a lot of the changes happening with your groups or with your friends, or the contribution of what you're doing that's larger than self, whether it's for an organization, whether it's through social media or whatever. Lots of changes happening here, making sure you're stepping into your power when appropriate, not giving your power away to groups and friends and these types of things. So just balancing that with this new level of self-reliance, self-worth. And this is going to be the first 7 days of you just doing that, getting on with it, freeing yourself up, and then moving forward for the rest of the month. Now on the 7th and 8th, we do have Mercury going over that Uranus, so I think there's an objective understanding. This is topping it off, the last of the fast-moving planets, to go over Uranus here, understanding very clearly what it is that's changing, how to have freedom in your life when it comes to enjoying life, right? The simple pleasures of life. So have that rational understanding. I think you naturally will around the 7th and 8th, and that's going to create, like I said, a lot of more new beginnings for you. Now, there's one thing I kind of missed, I didn't talk about. The early part of this month, we have the lunar eclipse taking place, which is very important. Lunar eclipse on the 4th, happening in Virgo, which is your 8th house. So still part of this first early 7 days of the month, but here, the first thing of the month here is that we have this lunar eclipse. And now, the lunar eclipse is the full moon energy, so it could be a culmination of a lot of the new directions or new things you started, new path you headed towards back in October, where we had the solar eclipse. Now the solar eclipse at that time was in your 9th house of literally life path, of philosophy, of spirituality. And basically anything that has to do with wisdom or expansion. So those things are coming to a sort of culmination. Maybe not in the exact way you anticipated. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. The point is that the solar eclipse energy adjusts you. So there's an adjustment here that's happening where you're going to continue to move on that direction because it's an important part of your whole life relating to those things. But it's shifting you here in your 8th house where the lunar eclipse is actually taking place. So here it's seeing very clearly how through that perhaps, or just in general, there's a lot of connectivity that you have. Maybe it's through your relationships. There's bonds being formed. There's, commitments, not really commitments in like a contractual sense, but emotional commitments where we have, when we spend time with people, we create bonds. Maybe it's through your friends or relationships or the deeper elements of life, or how important it is for you to see the truth of who you are, have that transparency in your relationships and with your work or with your home and family or anything like that. Eighth house is anything that goes beyond the veils of physical form or really connects to things on that spiritual level. Psychology too could be something there relating to that. But in either case, a full moon energy of that lunar eclipse here, culminating things regarding that eighth house. So reflect around the lunar eclipse and you'll get the most out of it, because again, even though it's a culmination, it's still an adjustment of a lot of new beginnings, because it's activating in this sense the north node. And although it's a culmination, it's still moving you into a direction, which is this whole year, towards deepening relationships, getting to the truth, sharing the truth with others, and really seeing beyond the veils. Now on the 8th, where things start to pick up here and become much more energy and less on the transformational side of things, we have Jupiter going station direct. So he's been retrograde since early December. And let's see where he's been for you. He's been in your 6th house. So since the middle part of last year and up till December in particular, you probably noticed a lot of opportunities or expansion for you to get in good health, to take care of your diet, your routine, your regimen, these types of things. Maybe helping others improve as well. Excuse me. And so from December through now, it's been an internal process with Jupiter retrograde. So maybe you've been thinking about these things, thinking about how you can improve your health more, how it's important for you to get the routine taken care of, to eat right, to watch what you're taking into your, emotional body, your mental body, your physical body. So whatever that's been now, as Jupiter gains momentum from the 8th onward this month, you'll notice more of this externalizing, seeing the opportunities in an external sense of, okay, here's another opportunity for me to, feel good. Here's another opportunity for me to improve myself. It could be you may be improving a craft or a skill too, if it's relating to work or something like that. Maybe it's Jupiterian in nature. Maybe it has to do with divinity, or wisdom or spirituality or something like that, a craft or something. So whatever it is, it becomes much more forward moving from the 8th onward. Now on the 11th, we have Mercury going into Aries, your 3rd house. So this is understanding very clearly here a lot of how you are thinking, communicating, and just overall exchanging in your life, whether it's exchanging through a book or a course or with the people in your life through communications. Mercury is going to be there from the 11th to the 27th, and that's where a lot of new beginnings is shaping up for you in that 3rd house. So we're talking about if you've, I think a lot of this is going to come a little bit later in the month once we have the new moon and things like this, but if you're thinking about doing any reading, writing, teaching, sharing, communicating, this is an excellent month for you to do so, especially from the 11th to the 27th, where you have, really into next month too, because of the sun and all this, but in terms of your understanding and vocalizing it and communicating it, excellent time for Mercury in that 3rd house from the 11th through the 27th of this month. On the 12th, we've got Mars sextiling up to Neptune from that 3rd house. An opportunity there maybe to communicate or to learn or teach or something like this. And that could be coming through your 1st house. So there's been this, you have been learning to understand the importance of not allowing any external layers to really classify who you are, that you're much deeper than these labels and things that we classify ourselves into or conceptualize ourselves into. So that's been Neptune in your 1st, where you're learning to just go with the flow in general, be who you are, even though you can't really put a concept on that. And that could be the opportunity that's coming about for you to do that, or it could be a new opportunity there for you to allow you to do that through writing and teaching and sharing. But in either case, on the 12th, look for those opportunities. On the 14th, we have the Sun going into Aries, which is that 3rd house, for the next 30 days, teaching, writing, sharing, communicating. Excellent time. The Sun's exalted in Aries. Beautiful place for the Sun to be at in your chart in your 3rd house. Now the 15th and 16th, we have Venus opposing up to Saturn. So this is a balancing, right, with these oppositions. Venus this month is in your 4th house. She went in there on the 6th. So from the 6th to the rest of this month, Venus is in your 4th of home, family, your past, your soul, your sentiments, your emotions in life. So connecting to these things is definitely going to be very enjoyable for you for the majority of this month. So you just want to balance that stuff with this responsibility that maybe you've been taking care of at work. You've had Saturn in your 10th house. So this is the classic balancing between home life and work life, between these two. So balance that, especially around the 15th and 16th, and I think finding a nice medium ground between there will help facilitate your work. You know, maybe bring some more of that emotional connectivity to your work and vice versa. Maybe bring some of that professional discipline into your home life or whatever you're enjoying around home and family and these types of things. That would be a good way to utilize this energy. Now on the 17th, we have Mars squaring up to Jupiter, then the new moon on the 18th, then on the 19th, Venus squaring up to Neptune. So the 17th, 18th, 19th period, it's all looking like it's a blending of energies here around that new moon. And I feel like on the 17th, that's when I think we're going to, you know, start to feel very ambitious. I think it's been the stepping of becoming more and more ambitious since last month. But this is a very ambitious day with Mars and Jupiter here on the 17th. So what this is giving me the sense of is that since we have the new moon on the 18th, which is in that third house of your writing, teaching, sharing, communicating, exchanging, also the house of siblings as well, and sales too, and it has to do with the marketplace. And so whatever these new beginnings are here that you're thinking about, just be patient with it, because the square is saying, okay, great, there's definitely optimism, you definitely have the big picture perspective, awesome, but with the new moon, it's a reflective time. You want to wait a few days after, once we get into the crescent phase, where we start to put energy forward. So reflect around the 18th in terms of these things. And then on the 21st and 22nd, we have Mercury going over Mars, who's then trining up to Pluto. So that in and of itself is very powerful energy. Mars trining Pluto is very powerful. Add Mercury to the mix, and then you have something very practical and very day-to-day and tangible and understandable. So if you're thinking about doing any of these third house things, 21st and 22nd, that is definitely go time. You can start to move forward with that. I think they'll be very powerful, very energetic. I think you guys are very motivated by these third house things this month with Mars in that third house anyways. But with the trine up to Pluto, it makes it very much so. Okay. Now the tail end of this month, we have some opportunities. We have on the 26th, Venus is sextiling up to Uranus. The 29th, we have the Sun sextiling up to Neptune. So seeing opportunities, again, I think coming through home and family, enjoying things there. Could be an opportunity on the 26th to do something different and exciting regarding those things. And on the 29th, it could be something spiritual or something metaphysical or psychological or just peaceful regarding those third house things that maybe you're starting this month with your teaching, writing, sharing, and communicating. Those are two sextiles, which are just opportunities. You can choose or choose not to walk through those doors, but there'll be opportunities nonetheless. On the 27th, sort of sandwiched in between them, we have Mercury going into Taurus, which is your fourth house, leading into, this is sort of now the culmination of leading into May, where a lot more emphasis is going to be on your fourth house of home, family, past, roots, sentiments, which you're enjoying this month. But now with Mercury going in there, you're going to think more about these things from the 27th onward. Maybe apply more of these things, live it on a practical level with Mercury. And then, like I said, in May, the Sun's going to go in there. Mars will eventually go in there, and we'll have the new moon there as well. All right, Aquarius, well, I hope you guys have a fantastic month. Please watch the daily and weekly horoscopes for a more specific look on these energies. And if you'd like a personal reading, please get in touch. All right, take care, and I'll see you next time.